You've never conceded that race because you believe it was stolen from you?
No, I believe it was stolen from the voters. I'm in state houses that have restricted access to the right to vote and constricted not only that, but the ability of election workers to do their jobs.
Do you still maintain that the 2018 Georgia election was stolen?
It was stolen from the voters of Georgia. We do not know what they would have done because not every eligible Georgian was permitted to participate fully in the election.
Trump said he didn't lose, and he going to jail over it. But Stacey Abrams can spend her whole life saying she didn't lose, and there's nothing there? This video is brought to you by TatumStore.com. TatumStore.com. Get you one of these shirts. We got a whole bunch of new stuff coming out, so y'all just stay tuned. By the time you see this video, we probably have some of our new merch dropped, but just go over to Tatum Store, take a look at it, get you some merch, like and subscribe to the channel. Y'all already know what to do. Let's get into this. Ladies and gentlemen, and ladies, let's talk about Stacey Abrams real quick. Stacey Abrams was a darling of the Democrat Party. She gave the rebuttal to President Trump when he had the State of the Union address, and I saw her and thought that they must really like her because I've never heard of her before. How would they trust her enough to give a rebuttal to the President of the United States? That's a prestigious position to rebut the President of the United States in the opposite party. And so I knew that Stacey Abrams was their darling, and they loved her, and they want her to somehow become the President of the United States of America. They bragged how Stacey Abrams was able to mobilize people in the state of Georgia and end up getting Georgian Democrats positions of power. Now, I will say this, and some of y'all are not going to like it, but I'm going to say it anyway because I believe this in my heart. When people keep saying cheating, I think in the presidential election, there was a lot of nefarious things that could have cost President Trump his position as the president of the United States of America. But that does not mean that every single place in every single state people are cheating. Because with this woman, as prominent as she was, as much weirdness as she was doing, never conceding to her race loss, she still got her head beat in by Brian Kemp in the state of Georgia. He won by a landslide. So I just want to throw that out there. Then let's talk about Stacey Abrams. Donald Trump said, listen to what she said and think in your mind that if President Trump said the same thing that she said, and why is she not in trouble and they act like President Trump is a terrorist for denying that he lost the election? Roll the clip.
And I do have one very affirmative statement to make. We won. But I didn't lose. I got the votes. But we won't know exactly how many because of how they cheated. I did win my election. I just didn't get to have the job. We were robbed of an election.
Using the word rigged, using the word steal, do you think it's dangerous going into 2020?
I don't, because we can actually back it up. And so in response to what I believe was a stolen election, and I'm not saying they stole it from me, they stole it from the voters of Georgia. In fact, someone outside asked if I'm ever going to concede. The answer is no.
This is not a speech of concession. Because concession needs to acknowledge an action is right, true, or proper. And I will not concede because the erosion of our democracy is not right.
People are thank you, ma'am. They're going to steal your election. It was not a free and fair election. I think the election was stolen from the people of Georgia. I believe it was stolen from the voters. Thousands of Georgians had their voices stolen because they were not able to cast ballots. And they cannot be guaranteed that their votes will be counted in 2020 if we don't do this right.
If what happens to you happens nationally and we see whoever wins the Democratic nominee, if they say, actually, I can prove that there's a number of votes in every state and that the same thing that you just described happens in multiple states, should they concede?
I do not think we should concede an election until we know the results of an election. I still fundamentally...
Like 5 minutes of her saying this, y'all. I'm in minute 1 and 30 seconds almost. How in the state of Georgia, where President Trump got indicted, how is it okay for her to say these things, but Trump can't say these things? She pretty much said the president of the United States that believe that these things are happening should not concede. She said it out of her own mouth. But since he's a Democrat, nobody cares, and it's totally fine. Hillary Clinton, I could pull another highlight tape of Hillary Clinton saying the same thing. It was stolen. It's illegitimate. They stole it from the voters. I mean, all of the same things that Donald Trump is saying is the same thing that she's saying. How is it not reasonable that Donald Trump believed that he was in the same position she was in? You know the reason why Stacey Abrams is not in a political position? Because she has no proof of what she's saying. So if she has no proof of what she's saying, she's pushing it in the public for 5 minutes straight of highlight tapes, then Donald Trump having no proof of what he's saying, how are they any different? She has a right to express her disdain and her belief that she gotten robbed. So does President Trump. She don't have any evidence whatsoever, have never been proven in the court of law, therefore she's not in a position of power. They claim Donald Trump doesn't. How are any one of them different? How is it that he's a terrorist and she's totally fine, and they're making the same accusations about voter suppression, about voter fraud, not all the votes were counted? I mean, we can go down a list. I do not understand the double standard. I'm gonna play a little bit more.
Believed it could be fair. And that's just not how life works. If it looks like it's cheating, it probably is. If it looks like it's rigged, it probably is.
We've been raised to believe that it is invalid, in fact, it's uncouth to call the question. That if you want to run for office again, you've got to concede the election so that everyone knows you're a good sport. I'm not.
I said that the election was stolen from Georgia voters. The process that took place during the legislative cycle was one that did not countenance and did not pay attention to the deep and real concerns of those who watched this election be stolen in the state of Georgia.
It was stolen from the voters of Georgia.
As long as we have eligible American citizens who cannot cast a ballot, then the game is rigged. I am complicit if I say that that system is fair. Concession in the political space is an acknowledgement that the process was fair. And I don't believe that to be so. But I refuse to concede because concession means that the process was proper, that the result was true and right. And I cannot say that. I tend to say I didn't lose, I just didn't win. And I don't call it a loss, I just didn't win. But yes, you did. Okay, officially. Yeah, officially. Put it this way, I didn't get to get inaugurated, and that's problematic. Okay. I was joking with Beth backstage when Cliff said, she lost, and I'm like, no, I just didn't win.
You know how stupid she sound? I didn't lose, but I just didn't win. That's like going to the Super Bowl and they say, oh, the Patriots got an interception. I'll never forget that Super Bowl because I was watching it and I almost had a heart attack because Seahawks could have won the Super Bowl if they would have ran the ball. But they throw a pass trying to be cute and lost the Super Bowl. That's like the Seattle Seahawks saying, we didn't win the Super Bowl. We didn't lose the Super Bowl. We just didn't win. Well, not winning means you lost. Like what grammatical theology do you have that in a race where there's a winner and a loser, you didn't win and somehow you didn't lose either? Like how did that not happen? But anyway, she's a nut. Just like the rest of these double standards. Hillary Clinton got a highlight tape longer than this one. I don't understand why we cannot be fair. If they can get out there and say that they were cheated out of the election, it was stolen, that it was rigged, they're using all the same words. But it's funny because the mainstream media will never put her up there and claim that she is election denier. Like, I don't understand. Hillary denied the election. She denied the election, never conceded. And then Donald Trump denies the election and said that he got cheated. And all of a sudden, it's a threat to our democracy. And with a straight face, they get on television and they come out and they cry on TV and do all this stuff about a threat to democracy because Trump wouldn't concede and he's building these conspiracy theories around theft. She has no evidence and she's doing more than Trump did. That's all I know. All right. I didn't say it enough. Y'all get the point. Like and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you on the next one. I'm out.